Good morning, or should I say good afternoon, or maybe even good evening? Who knows? But what I do know is that I'm Sam Flynn, your fast-talking host for today, and today we're going to be looking at LinkedIn and getting you started on there. Big road. Yeah, I know, it's not as exciting as Facebook or Twitter, but it is still a fab social media platform, especially if you target other businesses. So it's important that you get yourself on there. So we're going to look at what LinkedIn is all about, getting you set up with a LinkedIn profile, and then helping you understand your way around LinkedIn if you've never been on there, or if you have and you don't really know all the individual features. So you'll often hear LinkedIn being described as your online CV. Well, if you're going on LinkedIn to look for a job, that's great. Treat it as an online CV. But actually, if you're going on there to promote your business, it's the wrong way to look at it. Instead, you should look at it as a professional platform to connect with other professionals and potentially your target market. And LinkedIn is all about professionals having their own profile on there so people can find out more about them. So let's head over to LinkedIn and get you set up with that profile. So you want to go to linkedin.com, and then if you've already got yourself a LinkedIn profile, you need to log in with your email and password. If not, then fill in the Join Today form and get yourself set up on there. So, as with all these social media platforms, LinkedIn is going to start walking you through the process of setting up your account. So just start to fill in the details and then create your profile. So LinkedIn will let you put your email and email password in there, and it will search through your email contacts and find people that you might already know on LinkedIn, which is a great starting point, so I would definitely suggest you do that, but I'm going to skip this step for now. Then you need to go and make sure you go and confirm your email address on your account so that you can actually then start making changes to your profile. So once you've confirmed your email address, LinkedIn is going to try and get you to share that on Facebook and on Twitter, which actually is a good opportunity for you to get yourself out there with your LinkedIn profile and get some more connections. But again, I'm going to skip this step. Now LinkedIn has a premium option starting from about $25 a month. I would just go for the basic free option while you're getting used to LinkedIn. To be honest, the majority of what I do with the free option. You can just see there on the premium there are a few more things you can do, but for now we'll just go with basic. So now it's time to start filling in your profile and adding all the things that LinkedIn asks you to. So they're going to start by asking you when you started your current position, and then ask you to put in other positions that you might have had. So have a think about any that are applicable to what you do now. No one needs to know about the paper round you had when you were 15, so just make sure that they are applicable to what you're doing now. Don't worry too much about any date gaps. You know, LinkedIn users don't expect to know every single job you've ever had. And so far I'm going to say no more positions for me. You can put in where you went to school if you want as well, which is good to connect with old school friends and colleagues. But again, I'm going to skip this one. And then you can start putting in any skills you have. So really good to add as many skills as possible. I think of this as my keywords for my LinkedIn profile. So have a think about what the keywords are for your business and then add them as skills or expertise. Then you should describe your position, add a bit more bones to what it is you actually do. So have a description of what you do at that business and how that business helps other people. So do you know any other languages? Well, I know about 50. No, I don't really. So I'm going to say no for that one. And then we're going to say finished. So you've got a finished profile there. This takes you to your home page. If we go back to profile on that top there, we need to really start adding a few more things in here. Really important that you add a photo to your profile. Now this profile is about you rather than your business, so make sure the photo is a headshot of you. The best thing you can do is get some professional headshots created because they're really good for your LinkedIn, your Facebook and your Twitter. Then back on your profile, underneath your name sits your headline, and LinkedIn auto-generates this from your current position. But what you really want to do on there is tell people a lot more about what you do, because it's one of the first things they see. And when they're running searches, all they will see is your picture, your name and your headlines. It's really important your headline instantly tells people more about you. So to change that headline, just click the edit button. And then you'll see here, professional headline. This is where you get to call yourself whatever you want, give yourself a lot more introduction to people, so they really understand straight away what it is you do. And then you can see your headline there, nice and updated. You can post updates on LinkedIn, and I definitely would suggest you do, similar to your Twitter and your Facebook, except to keep it a lot more professional on here. So don't include personal stuff, make it much more about what's going on in your business, links, blog post articles, that kind of thing. As we scroll down, you can see you can add more positions, past positions, your school. You can ask people for recommendations, and this is a really good thing to do. Think about people that you've done business with. You can only ask your connections, so obviously the first step really is to add connections, but I would definitely recommend that you do think about who it is that you've done business with, that you could ask for a recommendation. It looks great on your LinkedIn profile if people are coming onto it and you've got over 10 recommendations on there. I'm going to come back to adding connections shortly. We'll carry on just working through your profile first. So we'll put your website in. So you'll see here on LinkedIn you get 3 website slots, and what the majority do is they just use one of those slots. But actually this is an opportunity to get 3 different pages of your website in, or certainly if you've got more than one website, to include those too. If you go on the drop down menu, you can see LinkedIn gives you auto options. So a lot of people will choose, for instance, company website. If you choose other, it actually allows you to call it whatever you want. You can add a website title. And then just stick your URL in, and that is your one website slot taken up, and then have a think about the other 2. So you could include your about pages, you could include your contact information, loads of stuff you could include in there, but make sure you use all 3 up. Scrolling down, you can add interests, groups and associations, honours and awards, and yep, great to include these things in. Interests always makes you a bit more interesting. Groups and associations, so if you're part of any professional groups, that's great. And honours and awards, and again, focusing on what's important in your business. No one wants to know that you won the Sunday League football at the weekend. People want to know business-related things on LinkedIn, so keep it business-focused. So scrolling back down again, you can see that website is now added and people can click on that and go through to the website. You also need to throw your Twitter account in there. Really important again that you have your Twitter account on your LinkedIn profile. So stick your Twitter login details in and authorise the app. If you then refresh the page and scroll back down, you will see that your Twitter account is now on there. Just click on that edit button next to your Twitter username. So you'll see on here on sharing tweets, it says share only tweets that contain the hashtag in or #LI in your LinkedIn status. And it's really important that is ticked, because if you don't have that ticked, all your links will automatically get sent through to LinkedIn. And that's not really very good, because on Twitter you're going to be a lot more social, a lot more relaxed and personable. That doesn't really fit on LinkedIn, so make sure that that is ticked. So back on your profile, again you'll see the public profile link. It's a little bit difficult to remember and to send to people, so you can edit that and make it look a lot neater. So once we're on this page, you can go to customize your public profile URL. And then you can put in there whatever you want. So scrolling down again, you'll see here the summary. And the summary is probably one of the most important parts of your LinkedIn profile. Now, when people are doing keyword searches on LinkedIn, it kind of works like SEO, like search engine optimization, in that the more those keywords appear in your profile, the higher up in those searches you'll come. So make sure your keywords are in your profile as much as possible. So add your summary and include in here as many keywords as possible. So add as much as possible to your summary there. I know I've only added a couple of lines, but I would add paragraphs and paragraphs. Split it up, make sure they are split into nice readable paragraphs. Remember, the focus here is on bringing in more business rather than getting a job. So don't summarise your past 20 years experience. Instead, summarise what it is your business does now. And then scrolling down again, you'll see that position we added earlier, and you can add more positions into there as well and ask for recommendations. You can add more skills and expertise and so on and so forth. So you can even add personal information in there, your address, phone numbers, your birthday, your marital status. Why not tell people everything about you? No, seriously, this is completely up to you how much or how little you add to your LinkedIn profile. You'll see over here it says 40% profile completeness. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll say adding another position adds 15%, skills and expertise add 5%, education 25%, connections 10%. So you'll see why it's not at 100% completeness. So don't worry too much about completing it straight away. You just need to work through the steps. So we want to start adding some connections for you. So on your profile, click on Add Connections, and then it shows a few ways you can do that. So see who you already know. You can actually import a CSV file, an Excel CSV file of your contacts that you will then send out an invitation to all those, which is a great starting point on your LinkedIn. You can also look through your colleagues from the same business as you, alumni. So this will go through your school and university colleagues. And you can look at people you may know as well, which will often be based on the connections that you're already connected to, which is why there is no results in here at the moment. And you also see this people bar in the top section here. So you can run a search by typing in a name, running that search and seeing who comes up for that. So if I scroll down, you'll see this is my other LinkedIn connection, so I can press connect on there. What that does then is it pulls up a box and it asks you to say how that you know this person. Now, the thing is, for some of them, you're not really going to know them that well. You might have met someone and run a search on them, but you can't really choose colleague or classmate. If you choose friend, you know, it's not really true, and sometimes they might have their privacy settings that you've got to add in their email address. And same with other, you have to put in that email address. If you click I don't know, then LinkedIn won't let you connect with them. So sometimes what the best thing to do is just say we've done business together, choose your company, and then just say, you know, remind them where you met. So always include that personal note on there. Don't just go with the automated message that LinkedIn adds. Always include a nice personal note and tell them where it was you met them. Say it was great to meet you yesterday at such and such an event, or it's been great working with you on this. Just remind them, give them a refresher, and then just send that invitation. Alternatively, you can click on this Advanced tab next to the People bar, and this will bring up lots of search opportunities for you. So you could put keywords in there, for instance, and start running searches on those keywords. In your postcoded area, you can say I want to go 10 miles around that. You could search for job titles, you could search for specific companies. As we scroll down here, you can search for certain industries or relationship to you. So your first connections would be people you're already connected to. Second connections would be people who are connected to someone you're connected to. Group members are people in the same group as you, which we'll come on to. And then you've got third, which is kind of twice removed connection, and everyone else. You'll see these areas are blanked out, and these are for premium account holders only. So let's run that search and see what we come up with. So you'll see straight away some results for this. You'll see some say LinkedIn member and some say their actual name and picture, and that all depends on permissions around searches. So you see this is actually me, but I've got it set currently that if I'm not connected to you in any way, and I've not accepted that connection request yet, so there is no connection between me and this Sam Flynn, then you know it's much harder to connect. And I don't want you to see my picture, I don't want you to see my name. I really want to connect with people that have some connection to me, second or third connection. So that's another opportunity to connect. You can click on that connect again, and again it pulls up this box. And again, probably the best option is say we've done business together, choose that company, and again just completely personalise this. Now if it's someone you don't know, tell them why you want to get in touch. Say that you've come across their profile. Say, you know, you're interested in the work they're doing at whatever business they're working at. Make it nice and friendly towards them. Because LinkedIn suggests that you should only connect with people you know and who know you. But I think that's very restrictive. I think LinkedIn's a great opportunity to expand your network. So if you are going to connect with people you don't know, always include a personal note and, you know, make it clear why it is you want to connect with them. So just showing you around the rest of LinkedIn, on your home page, you see you can also post your updates on here. You can attach a link to them, and you can tick this box to send it to your Twitter account as well. Now we have that added in. So again, another opportunity to share your updates. If you scroll down, you'll see all the updates of people you're connected to underneath that. So it will tell you things like what they've got going on, and it will also say if they've updated their profile, for instance. Coming back up to the top, you can go to your contacts and see who you're connected to, and it will list your connections, so you can have a reminder of who you're connected to on there. If you go to groups, LinkedIn groups are a great opportunity to raise some discussions and get involved with other professional groups. So, for example, you might have a LinkedIn group of people in your local area, you might have a LinkedIn group of people in your industry, and you might think about the LinkedIn groups that your target market would join. And these are essentially discussion boards for people to get involved with. So you can run a search for groups you think you might want to be a member of. So, for instance, I'm based in Manchester, so I might want to research for Manchester. Now, a lot of the groups will want to confirm your membership, so for the sake of this, I'm going to just show you a group I'm already an admin of, so you can see what it's like straight away to be part of that group. So I'm just going to run that search for Get Manchester Business and go to this Get Manchester Business Booming group, and then I'm going to join the group. So this is an open group that I'm involved with, and then you'll see on the group there that there's discussions going on, there's things happening, so people giving pieces of advice, people sharing stuff, people sharing links, people raising questions, talking about their events, talking about things that they've got going on. So it really is a discussion board for people to get involved with. So it's a great opportunity for you to get involved with discussions and show people more about you. It's another way to engage with people and build conversations. So go ahead and join some groups. You can join up to 55 groups on LinkedIn, and I would suggest that you do join that many groups because they are an opportunity to connect with people. Often one of the connection requests is that you're in the same group, and that will only appear if you are in the same group. So the more you join, the easier it is to connect with people as well. Moving back along across the top here, you've got jobs. So if you are ever looking to hire people, you could maybe have a look at the job options on there, or if you're looking for a job yourself. And you've then got inbox. So inbox is like a almost like your email inbox really. People can send you message, and you can send messages, but only to your connections. So if we go to compose message, and then we click on this little in symbol here, it will give you a list of all your connections, and then you can choose which of those you want to send the message to. You can define that by location or by industry. And you can select up to 50 connections to send to at once. So you don't necessarily have to just send to one person. You can actually send almost like a mass mailer out. Also in your inbox, if anyone does want to invite to connect with you, you will see this invitations tab here. And when you go to that, it will have the invitations that you can accept or ignore from other people. And that's completely up to you. I'm pretty open to connecting with everyone on LinkedIn, so I tend to accept them all. But if you decide you don't want to do that, you can ignore them. They won't get an email to tell you that, tell them that you've ignored them, so don't worry too much about that. Back across the top here on companies, you can add your company page to LinkedIn if it's not already on there. Just go to add a company, and again work through the stages, adding in your company name, email address, and it will ask you to fill in a bit of information. And what that means is back on your profile, when you've got your name as your current experience, your company name, people can click on that and it will take them to the company page. Further along here you've got news, and then the more tab, and there's a few different things you can do on here. So there's the answers section, and the answers section is where you can ask questions and get answers from experts essentially on LinkedIn. So if you are ever stuck with anything, it's a good opportunity to get your questions answered. But you can also answer other people's questions. So you could run an advanced answers search, for example. So I might think I want to answer any questions on Twitter. So I'm going to run a search for any questions mentioning Twitter. So I can then reply to those and start putting across a bit more of my experience. And then the other thing you can do on your More tab, there's a few kind of learning centres, so you can find out more about LinkedIn, upgrade your account, pay for a higher account, and you can add what are called applications to your profile. So this is things like adding in your blog posts and adding in a reading list by Amazon. You can add SlideShare presentations, so like say your blogs, events, different kind of applications you can add to your profile that will sit on there, just make it that little bit more interesting. So that is your very quick overview of LinkedIn. We will be covering quite a lot on LinkedIn in the rest of the Silly Social Media course and series. So don't worry too much if there are aspects of that you'd like more information on. This is just your basic intro to it, so you kind of get your way around it and understand how to get set up on there. So best of luck with it. I know you're going to be great on LinkedIn. Don't forget it's the professional network, so don't go on there being all Twitter-like. Be very professional, just like me. And as always, go and like the Facebook page, Silly Social Media. Connect with me on Twitter at _sampling, and definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, especially if you're new to it. And I can answer any questions on any of those 3 platforms that you may have. Good luck with it. See you again soon.